Such affectionate acceptance.
Put a chick in it, make her gay.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
They were big. They were hitting hard too, man.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Broaden the areas of participation for women.
That sounds very stylish.
What is my problem?
What do you think?
Beat sitting home watching television?
Hello, long time no see. I was in this weird place called the real world for a while, and I'm back, and it's great to see everybody. I'm glad to see that there has been no drama in the world whatsoever while I was gone. So that's good. That's good. That's great. Haha. Yeah, right. The drama never stops. The drama never stops. Let's see. I was just noticing we had Sark that kind of made a comment here. It was kind of funny. He was commenting, what the F, 26 hours, unacceptable. Well, yeah, I was just posting the the stream from yesterday. Just kind of advertising it out there. And I'm glad to see my good friend, Mo Biggs. It's been a while. I always love chatting with Mo. Let's see. He's saying, everybody, please hit the like button. I just had my guest dip out, but he's back. So, it's just nothing like, starting the show on a good note. Let's see. I think I have something appropriate.
All right.
Hello. We're here.
Hi. I'm not sure what happened. You froze on my screen for about, 10 seconds or so. And then I came back and you're like, oh, he's gone. And then I don't know, but I'm here. I made it.
That's the wonders of the internet. But hey, we're glad you're here. Aaron C., thank you so much. I was just kind of telling you behind the scenes there, thank you for reaching out to me and everything.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a really cool guest coming back from a bit of a break. So very excited. I think this is the first time that we have streamed together.
Yes.
So
yes, it's nice to meet you.
I feel like
hi, Mo in the chat.
Yeah, you see Mo in there, our friend Mo.
Yeah.
I feel like though we kind of couple degrees of separation because we kind of have mutual frenzies and everything, online friends and everything.
That's good. I did not know that, but that's cool.
It's great to see you, Mo. I'm glad to be back and to see you. Oh yeah, I heard about this. Did you hear about this last night? Ethan did 2 of the Trash Cast streams. The evening one, he announced that Michael Bancroft was inducted as a CG King.
Nice.
I'm sure that is going to just to make everyone happy.
Yeah, there'll be no drama over that.
None.
Oh,
none.
As a add-on to that, I just confirmed Bancroft will be on my show. Well, it's me and a couple other hosts, Jason Sandberg and Craig Wright of he does Soul Tack. Anyways, we do a show together. Bancroft is going to be on our Friday night show, September 27th. So. Oh,
awesome! I actually got to meet Bancroft in person at last year's Tampa Bay Comic-Con before everything kind of.
So is he actually like 4 foot tall? Like how tall is Bancroft?
Well, I'm 5'3". I'm not the tallest person in the world, but I think I had to look up to to see him.
Well,
so
I assume he's like about 6 foot, but you can't tell because he wears the rollerblades. So
that is true. That's true. He made up for if there are any size issues. I'm talking about height, people. If there are any height issues, he makes up for it in personality for sure.
Right.
He was a very classy fellow, very interesting. He does cards on the side. He likes to play. I think it's Texas Hold'em. But yeah, he's a professional, I guess, kind of professional poker player. He can make some coin doing that.
Yeah, if you can survive off of doing that, then I consider that professional for sure.
Yeah, you have to. You have to know how to read people. It's not all about the cards that you get. I mean, I've seen plenty of people. I used to watch the World Series of Poker and everything, and you'd have people that would have the most amazing starting hand and lose to somebody that had like a 2 and an 8, offsuit. So
Dang, that's crazy.
you know, you never know. It's all on how you kind of read people and bully everyone. Not so much bully, but kind of play them at the table and everything.
Yeah.
Let's see what we have here. Hello, Elemental MJ. What's
What
good, Abra, Aaron, and chat? Well, I appreciate you stopping by, Elemental MJ.
Yeah.
What's good is we are here to talk about your book, Aaron C. Immortal Rising. Yeah.
Ooh, look at that.
So
That's a pretty one.
that really sexy art by Jose Garcia.
Mhm.
You hear a lot about Jose Garcia, but the man himself seems to be, at least for me, shrouded in myth or like mystery.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where does he reside?
I'm not at liberty to no, I'm just kidding. He lives in Mexico City.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, because I was going to see about maybe reaching out to him.
Oh,
And
yeah. Oh, man, I should have asked him to come on.
yeah, I didn't know if there would be a time barrier issue or anything like
Yeah.
that.
No, I
Gosh, I
think
mean,
he's about Midwest time, I think, for Mexico
okay.
City. So
Yeah, I'm in the panhandle of Florida, which is also referred to as Southern Alabama. And so I'm on Central Time, that one weird section of Florida that's Central Time.
yeah,
But
he
yeah,
has a bit of a crazy story, or not story, like crazy schedule.
yeah.
Because he actually teaches art. So
Wow.
yeah, he's got his own courses that he teaches, and yeah, so I don't know what plus he's doing projects and stuff like that, and I think he's got a kid who's about 1 year old now, so
Ooh.
busy dude.
Yeah, so he had some months there where he probably wasn't getting very much sleep. So
Right.
Poor
I
guy.
bet.
Yeah, nothing like having tons of work to do. And he's obviously, or I would imagine, a hot commodity in Comicsgate, because it seems like every time I'm turning around, I see his name on a project, and
Nice.
with good reason.
Yeah.
I really love his style. It has a very animated look to it.
Oh yeah.
I know I saw somebody kind of quoting a little bit about Immortal Rising, but when you're reading through it, let's go ahead and add this camera here.
What's up, Corey? Yeah, that's one of the things that a lot of people have brought up, is like it's like I'm reading an anime,
Yeah.
or like I'm reading an animated movie, like, because it flows so well, and I
And
love that about it. I love it.
it is great. And I'm not really big into anime. I've watched a couple here or there based on different individuals' recommendations, but I'm not, what do they call it? The weebs.
Weeb?
I think that's the term. I don't even know what a weeb. Whoops. I don't even know what a weeb is, but
Well, see, Mo should be able to fill you in all about the negatives of weebery. So,
oh Lord.
Mo.
Hey there,
what's that?
Corey.
Oh,
It's
hey,
great to see you, Corey Barton. I really, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm reading Mo's. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
It's not anime, it's animated. Yes.
Animated. Yeah, it does. It very, very much so. But I guess it has those kind of the telltale eyes with the kind of the wide eyes kind of look, the youthful appearance. And I will bring up here in a second your campaign for book 2.
Okay.
But I kind of briefly wanted to go over Immortal Rising book 1. So if there's anyone out there, not really familiar with the story and the characters and, the overarching, I guess, story and theme of Immortal Rising, we can kind of get people up to date and familiar with it.
Yeah.
And so I was telling you again offline my experience and how I became familiar with Immortal Rising through everyone's good friend and very humble fellow Eric July.
Humble. Now, see what it is you got.
Yeah, what it is, what it do.
Now that is to say, I'm not trying to hate on the Rippaverse or anything. I don't really care for Eric July myself, and I think it's the roasting of him is pretty funny and all that. But I am friends with fans of the Rippaverse. And, you get it. So
people are allowed to like what they want to like. You know, it's
everybody's
kind of,
shit is so emotional lately. That it's like,
yeah. Oh my
anything to
God.
say. Boom!
Yeah.
Nuclear bomb. I'm not friends with you anymore. I'm taking my toys and going home. All right,
Exactly. It's like if we were all women, all of our periods would be aligned. You know, it's really weird. I don't know what's
I don't get
happening,
it.
but
I don't get it. The tribalism is crazy.
yeah, very much so. And maybe it's the fact that it's an election year. I don't know, and everyone's just kind of going more primal and primitive and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you like what you want to like, there's no problem. But what I kind of had a problem with was I'm going to share here, and this is kind of what caught my eye because I was kind of following, the trash cast stuff and all of that on the periphery, and kind of laughing, the back and forth. It's like, okay, look at these grown men kind of
I think
carrying
some
on.
people take it way too serious, and unfortunately, those are the loudest voices on, like, say, Twitter, and so then it seems like the whole crowd is saying that when it's not. It's like 5 guys,
This is kind of where it really went to, from like a 2 or 3 to like, a 50 in the stratosphere here, where I was like, wow, this isn't just a guy that's sure of himself. When he went to your campaign, which I think at that point you were just using, was it Fund My Comic as a storefront, to try to liquidate some of your extra stock. And he just, comes in there and just starts berating you, acting like he's Jesus, giving you an offering.
Well, first thing he did was he tried to buy me off to big league me, as they say, to embarrass me and shut me up and all that.
I funded your little thing over here, your little project. Here you go.
Your fun little your little toys you got. Like, okay,
isn't that
buddy.
cute?
Yeah.
So
guess what? Money doesn't make the man, which I clearly got to show everybody that.
Yeah, and I thought that was you were still respectful in your reply to him, but I think you respectfully told him where to take that money and where he can put it. But
well, it's one of the funny things is so I had streamed for like 2 or 3 hours, like right before that. It was like my year-end stream. I had a couple people on, and so I wasn't really paying attention too much online. I'm sitting there watching my kid play his new Tears of the Kingdom Zelda game.
Yes.
So,
I've lost many years of my life.
I'm scrolling, half looking at Twitter, and then that's when I see, it looked like he had quote tweeted a friend of mine, an online friend, B.A. Turner, and I was like, well, whoa, that's crazy. What is he saying about B.A.? And then it was like, wait a minute, did he really say that? That doesn't sound like B.A. at all. So I went in and I found it, and I was like, "Oh, dude, they're totally trying to pull him out and dogpile him."
Yeah,
like, get real. And I don't know, something in me. I know I had said on my Twitter that I was not triggered, but in fact, it did trigger me because bullies trigger me, and I need to own up to that. And anyways, so I was just like, "Well, where did he say that?" And I called him out on his bullshit, which really triggered a lot of his fans because they don't want to hear that he's a fake.
It really is. It's difficult when you're a fan of somebody, and I'm not going to lie. I'm sure everybody's guilty of it. I'm sure I'm guilty of it. Whether it be politics or a sports team or whatever it is in life. You really, I don't know, just like a cognitive dissonance kind of thing going on, where you just you can't accept the fact that that this person you might admire or this team that you might admire or a political figure, whatever, does something that might go against what your beliefs are.
His fan base projects a lot onto him. They imagine a lot about him. And I don't know. You could just really see, one, in his actions, and then 2, in his hibbity jibbity.
His squirrel words. Yeah, that was
one. Like the rest of us, like encountering somebody like that, you're trying to ask questions, and he's like juking, jiving, and squirming around, and not really answering anything. It's like, dude, that's just sophist. You're just a basic sophist. You'll say whatever it takes to look like you've won an argument. And to me, he's pretty foolish. But I don't hate the guy or nothing. I just think that he's got a large ego, and it's clearly really fragile. So I wish him the best. But,
yeah, I don't want to see anyone fail. We do have a different perspective from the other side, from Tree Goblin here. He says Ethan needs a boogeyman. His mainstream pals stopped mentioning him, so he zeroed in on Ripa. Without being a victim, Ethan's narrative runs dry. I mean, I don't see that perspective, but I mean, I don't know. Definitely, if that's what you're seeing.
I guess I don't know Ethan that well to make that kind of judgment.
Yeah. I don't know. I've kind of been following the group since 2018, maybe the end of 2017, but, for sure in 2018.
Yeah.
And I've seen, a lot of people that, he's trying to help get funded and whatnot. And then they just, after it's all said and done, if they didn't really get the results they wanted, or on the next crowdfund, if they didn't get the results they wanted, they kind of throw a little, hissy fit and kind of spit in his face. But
Right.
Again, I am a fan just viewing this from outside. So I mean,
What I think is kind of funny with all the fighting and all that stuff, it's like, some of the true blue, I guess they're called ripitards. It's so funny. It's like, they'll be like, oh, Ethan, he doesn't matter. He's washed up. He's this and he's that. It's like, so then why does his opinion matter so much? Like, why is it you guys keep, pulling him out of his so-called, obsolescence and beating him with a stick? It's like,
just when he thought he was out, they keep pulling him back in.
Isn't Ripaverse above him? Isn't he just stunting on everybody so well that it shouldn't matter, should it? So I don't understand.
Yeah, it is what it is, I guess, as Eric would say. But enough of that. Enough of the drama. Again, people are allowed to like what they want to like.
Totally.
It's totally fine. And in the ideal world, I'd want everyone to succeed. But let's go on to what I liked here. And this was Immortal Rising. This, I think you described it as a high fantasy. And for kind of noobs like me, what's the difference between regular fantasy and high fantasy?
Well, you have like I guess sword and sorcery would be like, say, Conan, where it's more in the sword, and then you have like this mysterious wizard, bad guy kind of stuff, and then going up from that, basic fantasy. I don't know how to describe it properly. It'd be like kind of like, I guess maybe like a Lord of the Rings or a Hobbit kind of thing, and then the high fantasy, as Mo Big says, is crack pack. No, high fantasy would be like an even higher version of magic, more magical, or maybe even some tech sprinkled into it, that kind of stuff. Yep. Yeah, I don't want to pin too much on it because it's like it's dark, epic, high fantasy. It's like, okay, what does that mean? But
here's I guess a little breakdown from Chris Fisk, who has one of the best laughs I've ever heard in my entire life. It's so contagious.
He used to be my co-host.
Yeah, he's great. Alice in Wonderland is fantasy. High fantasy is Lord of the Rings and D&D. Okay, so I mean that'll kind of put it in perspective there a little bit. And then I was just looking how the map and everything. This looks really thought out. All the different realms and everything, and the characters. Did you sit down and write? Construct this kingdom, or?
Yeah, actually, that is based on. All of the story in Immortal Rising as a brand and all that stuff is loosely based off of my Dungeons and Dragons tabletop game. And so that is a close representation of a map that we use, and that was done by Damage Jarek. I think he's a Dutch map artist. So, and then all of the additional graphics added on and all the touch-ups and was done by Chris Fisk. So he's the one that brings it kind of out, makes it. And he
has the I know I'm going to pronounce it wrong, and I'm so sorry, Chris. I need to have you on sometime to talk about your project too. The Infinite Tales. Trying to think what he does, but he has kind of like a fantasy book, and then even I guess like a game that he's creating too with different modules.
Yeah, he's a wild man.
Yeah.
He's next level.
Very smart. Very smart. Let's see. Yes, Mo was saying, I miss those epic streams with 80s Chris, the Broken Compass crew, Cranberry. I miss Cranberry, DP and his beloved dog. Yeah, those were fun times. I always loved going on with 80s, but my God, he'd want to stream at these hours, and I'm like, I'm old now. I can't stay up this late. Here we go. Yes, thank you, Chris. I'm so sorry. Infinite Tale. Thank you. My brain just wanted to twist it in some strange way. It's like an infinite tale. It's not that hard. Come on.
Yeah.
Get it together, Abra.
Yeah.
So was the world of Immortal Rising, was this kind of just all of your brainchild, or I mean, did this come from playing Dungeons and Dragons games with friends and family? I mean, tell me a little bit how that came to be.
So what happened was, all right, so it came from our tabletop game, and we've been playing for quite a long time, and I'm like, man, I want to make sure I don't forget some of these, bigger events and whatnot, so I can pull from them, and other people who are starting to be DMs and at the dungeon masters of the table can pull from it and stuff like that. And so I'm writing notes and in a timeline, and as I'm writing the timeline, though the events of the timeline, it's like they started to become their own scenes where like there's dialogue. I'm like, oh no, this is turning into a story, and I'm gonna have to write it now. It's like I've dabbled in writing my whole life, between writing awards in school and stuff like that, and different kinds of writing or whatever, but I had never done a comic book, and I'd only done the most short story kind of stuff other than essays and poems and whatnot. So I was like, as I'm kind of writing it out and it's becoming a story upon itself or unto itself, I'm like, I came down to the decision of, do I want to try writing a novel, or do I want to do a comic book? Now, originally it was just going to be for my friends, and I was like, well, no, if I write a novel, none of them will read it. So, but if I write a comic book, they'll at least like the pictures, right? So
it's a little bit easier to digest, I guess, in little portions.
Yeah. So I was like, and I love comics. One of the things that brought me into the fantasy genre when I was like a little kid was the art, just the imaginative art of it all.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I want to see our world realized in fantasy art. So that's where it kind of started at. And it was a long and windy, crazy road to get to that first issue being done. So, like, I had a different artist do the first issue.
I was going to bring that up because I thought that was very fascinating. That here, let me make this little here. Nope, that is not what I wanted to do. I'm going to bring this here. Just for a moment, and then we'll go back through the campaign and everything. But I found this fascinating that you included the original. I guess was the original pages on here.
Yes, original Immortal.
Yeah, and it's really cool to compare. Yeah, here we go.
Yep.
So you have the original Immortal here.
Yeah.
And then you can just kind of see where, I guess, Jose Garcia's imagination just kind of really brought the world to life.
Yeah, because he originally, so when I first met him, I was waiting on the first artist to complete the original version. And he was really hard to get a hold of. He was in Indonesia, between the government, turning off the internet all the time because of political unrest, to, him just being young amateur artist who was hard to get a hold of. It was kind of gritting my teeth to get anything done, and it felt like. And so probably 9 months into it or something like that, some crazy number, I was like, well, I need to keep the ball rolling. I need to keep the creative momentum moving for myself, right. Let alone just for the project. So I was like, I want to, there's so much going on here. I kind of want to look at the same story from a different perspective. And that perspective was that of the gods. like all this crazy stuff happens to these low level, using role playing game terms, these low level characters.
Right.
I want to show. I want to also experience it from the high level characters version. So that's where the Knights of Locutus was born. And I started looking for another artist. I thought, it'd be a good way to also maybe field other artists to finish the book and whatnot. And because I didn't know if it was even going to be done with the original artist. So that's when I ran into Jose. And I was like, he hadn't even gotten into comic books yet. I think I found him on like ArtStation or something.
Oh, wow.
And he was doing commission work. And it was very, fantasy related. I think he was doing like people's D&D characters or something like that. And so I was like, hey, would you mind checking out the story? Do you have any experience with sequentials? Because that was kind of one of the things I noticed with my amateur artist, that, sequentials is king, right? So I was like, all right, so how do you do in sequentials? He's like, he gave me this, at the end of highly CGI movies, and they're like, they've got this like paragraph upon paragraph of artists, and he's like,
yes,
that's kind of his resume for all the animation studios that he worked for. So I was like, all right, fair enough, I think you can handle it. So I gave him my script, and a week later he had it completed. It was 10 pages, and he had sent them back to me all colored. Everything was great. And and I was like, holy cow, that was like, that was the smoothest thing I've ever experienced with an artist.
Wow.
So
To hear that the artist is responsive and producing stuff very timely and top-notch
exactly.
work. It seems kind of like a rare thing. At least that's what I've kind of heard over the years.
It is. And not to pick at artists, because they're not all the same, clearly. So, but a few of them that I've tried out, it's like, all I asked for was a character sketch, and it's been 2 months, dude. Like, I don't think we'll be going further,
Yeah. So. Not viable.
So anyways, so then I had the first issue finally finished, and I didn't have a cover. So I asked a mural artist friend of mine if I was kind of telling him my troubles. He's like, I'll do a cover for you. So my mural artist friend did the original cover. He also did my backdrop, by the way. But
oh yeah.
Anyways, so it was coming together. I was like, all right. And I didn't want to lose momentum. So I was like, hey, Jose, because my original artist kind of flaked out and wasn't going to finish. He didn't give me a cover, blah, blah. So I was like, all right, well, I want to do issue 2. So Jose, will you do issue 2 for me? And of course he cracked that out in like a month or whatever it was. And so here I had these 2 issues, but the artwork was not, there was no art continuity. Right. So clearly, and I was like, I don't know, months went by, and finally, like, I think I even started my own YouTube channel during that time, and started networking and getting on Twitter and all this other stuff I hadn't done before. Mainly because Jose's advice, because I had the original, and I was like, I tried selling on Kickstarter. It went nowhere. I got like $300. And so I was like, Jose, how can I market? Who can I network with? And that's when he told me about Comicsgate and, being on Twitter and all this other stuff.
Yeah. Because
I wasn't even on Twitter. So I followed his advice. He was like, go watch Bancroft. Obviously, real entertaining. Fell in love with just the chat and the atmosphere, and and not only that, but how everybody was giving the middle finger to mainstream media. I was like, that's right up my alley. And so I was like, I'm gonna hang out here and see what happens. So, anyways, kind of fast forward about a year of doing my own channel and all that stuff. I was like, all right, I need you, or do you mind redoing the first issue for me? So I have, art continuity. And he was like, yeah, of course. He likes the story, the characters and all that stuff. He's like, I'm in it, dude. Let's at least do the 3 books to the story. So I was like, great, let's do it. And and so he finished this one, and then we launched it. We had a good reception to it all. I think I made $5,000, maybe a little bit more on Indiegogo. I made some not online, and then I was selling a little bit, like some extra on Fund My Comic and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and then so since I had, Yeah, and then since I had the second issue already done, I was like, "Hey, Jose, I'm gonna do the second campaign," and he was like, "Wait a minute." He went back over all the old art. He was like, "I can't. I'm not gonna let you sell that." He's like, "I'm gonna redo all the art for it." So I was
Yeah,
like,
because
"All
I
right."
imagine he keeps, up in his
He
game.
gets better.
And, yeah.
Yeah. So he went back through and he recorrected, or I should say, he corrected a lot of the stuff. And man, oh my gosh, it was like the older stuff looked more like flat work, and
Yeah.
now it's like it's very dynamic and everything. So his coloring.
Yeah, I
is
was
just
going to
launched.
say with Jose's coloring, it's unique. It's very vibrant, and
Mhm.
it's like he has his own house style, but it's just just him. But
Yeah. Well, if you've ever checked out his personal work and stuff, it is almost like Kirby, Gonzo style. It's so great. It's like its own monster. Just everything between the intense detail and the vibrant colors. It's really cool.
yeah,
Like
and
Luminovox.
just to give kind of like people an idea, it just how it feels like an animated story here.
And how I approached this one was I was like, I want to make a fantasy. I wanted to write it and put it on, put it to page as if it were a fantasy novel. So, like for some people, maybe that's a lot of narration or something like that. But I wanted it to feel like a fantasy novel, which I did get a lot of feedback saying that it did feel like a novel. So, like, cool, that's good.
Did you struggle with because originally you wanted it to be a novel, and then you had to, I imagine, leave some stuff on the cutting room floor to condense it down to comic book form. Was that a difficult process?
Well, not really. A lot of it was just like me learning the basics of writing a comic. Is you really have to condense everything down to as small of a piece that you can. And then, you want it to be concise. You want it to, if it needs to be, a little poetic, needs that, but get it down to, if you can get it to one line, that's where you're really getting it good, my first attempt, maybe there's more dialogue in there than there needs to be. But at the same time, this is a lived in world. And, some people may not care for the exposition. Others have told me that they loved it. It felt like a lived in place. And every time that you switch scene to a different character, like they wanted to hang out there even longer. So I took that as encouraging. So
yeah, just talking about that kind of changing the scene, where you go to the cathedral here. Now, what's the correct pronunciation? Is it like Andrulicus? Okay. And it's just, as you mentioned, it just everything kind of feels like it has its own character. The way that Jose kind of portrayed the lighting and everything inside the church, it just feels almost like the spiritual holiness is kind of coming down here. And the character's interesting. And as I mentioned before offline when I was talking to you, there's a lot of elements going on within the world of Immortal Rising. I mean, you have the humans and everything that are on, like almost like an Earth-like planet, and with knights and everything. And then you have undead, and you deal with Dracula and everything. It's just like, whoa.
So all the stuff that is mentioned in the story, kind of building up the setting, is none of it is throwaway. So none of it is just there as ornaments. That's basically just foreshadowing. Thank you, Shadowpunk. I appreciate it, man. And then so in this first book, it kind of feels, it may feel, it's kind of rushed. I wanted to hang out here or do this more, but that's kind of the way I also wanted it to feel, because that's the way the characters felt. It's like, here they are in their humdrum, my life will be this way. I'll be a successful ranger, I'm talented and all this other stuff. I don't have much to worry about. And then, nope, the gods decide, no, you're going to come over here and do this instead. And and so it's the whole was a isekai, where they get transplanted to a whole nother place.
Yeah, that really it kind of just happens very quickly. You're like, whoa, like what just happened? And even the characters are just kind of, taken back by that. So,
and it takes probably the whole arc, the 3-book arc, for them to even get an idea of the true scope of what happened to them. So in the second book, it slows down a little bit, which is it slows down considerable because you don't have a bunch of new information. And then the third one is when they have to deal with everything that they have learned so far.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I know with poor Lori, you're just like, oh no, her character. You have the 4 new Rangers, and they're out to try to prove themselves, and then it doesn't exactly go well for them, and the 2 arrogant princes and everything. So, as I mentioned, you just get all these different elements, and even here, in space, who would think to put spaceships and like dragons and everything, and it's just such a cool concept. It's fun to look at. It's a neat idea. It's like, wow, you just really you went for it.
That's right. Yep. Oh, I love that page, the one where he's standing there on the like that,
and beautiful, kind of overlooking the treetops.
Yeah.
And I like the idea, like even the part where the Muhammad priest guy, he's there and he tries to help provide aid, and no one can understand him. So they're cast a spell so everyone can understand each other's language, and just little details like that were really fun. And then so there were 2 stories. So the first one was called.
The Calling,
yeah, and then the Knights of Locutus.
Yes.
This one.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, this one I was going to say. This one was. It seemed like it went a little fast. So, when I was reading it, I was trying to figure out, who these guys were and everything.
Sure. Yeah, that was kind of like a peek into the high level, version of what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you can imagine, what is it? The one with the Greek gods, and then you've got Perseus, and then up on Olympus you have the gods kind of pulling the strings. That's the kind of feel that I wanted to go for here. Was like, you get the perspective of the gods.
Okay, so you have this very dramatic, interaction that's going on here, and then it's kind of like the mundane little people are having their little trials and tribulations. So
yes,
I like the take on that. So it ends. Our little Rangers are kind of in a precarious spot with the princes, and so that will kind of bring us. Oh, and then you have the impending invasion by the Baroness. So stakes are kind of high and everything. And then we get into Immortal Rising Book 2. And let me go back up to the top here. And can you give us a little breakdown, obviously without giving everything away, of what readers can look forward to in Book 2? And oh my God, look at these covers. They're just beautiful.
Well, first I want to say the blue chick is the Empress that we saw in the first issue. Mm-hmm. Everybody loved her so much. She made such an impression that I was like, well, I'm going to have to go for some cheesecake, a nice cheesecake.
Yeah.
On this
it reminds me of, what's that big Sweeney or whatever, that actress that has taken the world by storm, or I should say her breasts have taken the world by storm.
But I'm not sure.
She has you have it. Just enjoy it
them
while it lasts.
Yeah, use them. So anyways, I was like, and who, in my opinion, who does the best, some of the best females out there, and that was Corey Barton. I was like, man, I wonder if he'll do a commission for me. I hit him up, and he's like, yeah, I'd love to. And Cheesecake Factory in full effect. In fact, I think I even said it to him in that way. I was like, will you just do me a cheesecake cover? He's like, well, what do you mean? I was like, this character, and maybe here's a couple poses, what I'm going for. And yeah, that's what he came back with. I was like, I love it. So
Hey, they say sex sells for a reason, right?
that's right.
Nobody wants to look at ugly. We want to look at beauty, and
That's right.
the human body, when kept up, is very nice on the eyes. So
Yeah. Well, and I was I didn't want to at first because I don't cuss in my book. I
Yeah.
don't lean into sexuality in pretty much anyway. It's kind of a little bit because Drake is clearly got the hots for Lori, and you can tell that there's an attraction there and stuff like that. But I didn't want gratuitous sex scenes or anything like that, or like tits everywhere. So I didn't want to get into anything like that, but I was
Yeah.
like, everybody loves it, and I really like this picture. So I slept
I
around,
think there's a tasteful way to go about it too.
Yeah.
It sometimes it's more. I think it's sexier when you're not really revealing everything. When you
Yeah.
leave some to the imagination, not a
Right.
whole lot, but yeah, you leave some to the imagination, and I think that's definitely a lot sexier.
It kind of reminds me of one of those old heavy metal magazine covers.
Yeah.
I can see Corey having done art for Heavy Metal magazine, so I was like, yeah, of course, it's my go-to.
Well, they did a revamp. They're not sexy or badass anymore. Yeah, no,
it's
they're
it's not Heavy Metal magazine. Forget
Oh,
it.
what has happened to everything? It's so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then the issue 2, I asked Jimmy Reyes to do that ogre there.
Yeah, he did a really
the
good job too.
He did the pencils and pins on the ogre, and then the colorist he does coloring for RPG games. Andrea Gardino. That's it. Sorry. Yeah, and it came out really well. I love it. You got the Beauty and the Brute.
Yeah, you do. That's true. The contrasting there.
What's funny is that they're both bad guys. Like, I don't even have the heroes on my books. What am I doing?
Well, I mean, it's they're both so beautifully drawn. You have to showcase them for sure.
Yeah.
Floppies and the ash cans. So
Yeah. So what I'm doing here is going forward, I want to try to sell floppies like at cons and game stores, local comic shops, that stuff, because like not everybody's going to want to spend so on the Indiegogo, I'm selling the premiums for 20, but after Indiegogo, they go to 25. So like, I don't want to try to, sell a book for 25 if somebody doesn't want to buy the whole thing. Hey, here's a teaser. It's $5, right? Here's $5 floppy. So I took the stories, I cut them in half to where it best suited the story, and I put Jose's original. Hey, what's up, Jimmy?
Jimmy, it's so good to see you.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while. Exactly.
Oh, I hope you're doing all right, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, happy birthday.
Oh, I didn't know you had a birthday. Happy belated birthday. So yeah, we're rooting for you, and I'm really looking forward to getting Dragon Rage. So that'll be fun. That'll be
right.
Fun.
But so for the floppies, I used Jose's covers that he did for the books. I recolored the first issue and put it on the floppy. So it's the same art, just different coloring by me. And then the ash cans, actually, the black and white ash can was from an anthology that I contributed to for Arrow Comics, and it was called Out of Obscurity. And the story, I think, is like 7 pages. And that one, it's more of like futuristic dystopian. The last 2 survivors of humanity have to track down the cure for this nanotech virus that has corrupted the world. And so they go to this tower to where the inventor of this virus is believed to have been, and they go into the tower to try to look for a cure, because unfortunately, the girlfriend of the story is sick, and
oh God, no,
she dying. Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned a virus and everything in this. When I look at the cover and with the little beret thing there, I kind of get vibes of Resident Evil a little bit.
Nice.
So yeah.
It's a gorgeous black and white book, by the way.
I've really come to appreciate black and white, and it's just something about it. It creates like a whole different kind of vibe within the pages, and I think certain stories definitely lend themselves to just best being told in black and white.
Well, and we wanted to do we wanted to kind of do like a creepy, old, have it kind of feel like an old black and white horror movie while still being future science, dystopian kind of stuff. So, then the Immortal Rising Tales #1, that is a story that was featured in Anvil magazine #2. It's called Baphomet's Child, and that one is actually a one-shot. It's in Immortal Rising universe, but that has nothing to do with the main story. So you don't need to read it to follow the story in any way.
But it just adds like an extra layer to, I guess, the whole overall Immortal Rising world. Yeah,
kind of fills in some stuff. You follow a magical warrior who is a disciple of Andronicus, and he confronts a cult of Dracula, and he finds out that they have kidnapped a girl, a local like farmer's kid or something. And although her body is there, her soul is missing. And so he must go into the spirit world to find her soul. It doesn't go as easy as he expects.
It never does. If it did, it wouldn't be a good story, right?
And that one's about 8 pages. So.
Oh my God, Mo. Guys, Jimmy is at death's door, and you turn the topic to black and white comics. Well, I mean, of course.
No
right?
class.
Oh goodness. Let's see. Where was I going to? Oh, I was going to ask you, kind of along the lines of, I guess, the spiritual realm and everything within the first book of Immortal Rising. You talk about, or the characters mentioned the hearts, like the hearts have been shattered of the ancient beings, and I don't think I've fully grasped it, and it's on me. Like I kind of get a little bit of ADD when I read.
Oh, you're all right.
But I was wondering if maybe you could explain that a little bit more for me, like what the significance of the hearts being broken and the ruby and the emerald.
So basically, the heart of Locutus is kind of like a Phylactery, where like it was a focus point for the this creator god, right? This demiurge who basically has created all these life forms and worlds, even on different worlds, I should say. And during this battle with one of his creations, the evil god Bamain, his emerald heart is broken. It's the battle of the heartbreak, and that Phylactery is it sends shards throughout all of the worlds, and even into some of the metaphysical planes. And it has been this long campaign for the Knights of Locutus to track down the remnants of this heart of Locutus, to reassemble them, to hopefully bring their creator back to his full power. And his power has kind of been dormant and not existent since that happened.
Is that to protect everyone? Or I mean, if sometimes when you're messing with great powers like that, unexpected things can happen.
Sure. Well, it's not. It's only hinted at in the story, but basically, Bamain, the evil guy, he is created of Locutus, and he's like, I really don't like my creator. I think that everything that he has made is pure chaos. It makes no sense, and it creates suffering, and it creates all these terrible things. I'm going to recreate the universe in my own image, and basically take bring order out of chaos, kind of stuff. And he uses the empire, the Bamanite Empire, to do that. And among that was his most powerful possession was his ruby, which again was lost in this battle of the heartbreak. So he thought it was lost for all this time, and while he's in the astral world, doing whatever evil gods do in the astral world, he has a vision of his ruby, which he thought had been destroyed or lost forever. He has a vision of somebody using it. And so on this planet of Terra. So he's like, yo, calls up the Empress, actually forces her into the astral plane to take his commands, and tells her to go to Terra right away and immediately look for it before, basically before the trail goes cold.
Right.
And that's basically the beginning of the story. We see the Empress invade
Yeah,
Terra.
I was wondering, with the red hands kind of
Yep.
in the
Yeah,
background.
that's his holy symbol, is the
I
red hand.
gotcha.
Yeah, so which you'll see again, like the ogre has it on his gauntlet or whatever, or his bracer, and then it'll be explained even further in the third book.
Oh, nice.
Spoilers. We'll see more of the Bamanites and kind of introduce their ideology and their way of thinking. So it'll be fun.
Yeah. I mean, going back to it, I really do like the idea, the concept of, the gods are just doing their thing up there, and we're just like ants kind of struggling. Well, I mean, we're even lesser than ants, lesser than microorganisms.
I wanted that to be a kind of a theme of it, was like, these greater beings, are doing their thing, and in their shadow is like us,
Yeah.
It's the mortals, and we have to deal with, if they take a wrong step, they might crush everybody, so I kind of want that to be a part of the story, because it is in our game world too.
Yeah.
So
I like that. It's kind of, I don't know if you remember the ending to the original Men in Black, but I always loved, how everyone was fighting for the galaxy that was around the cat's neck. And
right.
when they finally peer into it, it just seems to go on forever and ever. And then once it finally gets to the ending point, it's just these random aliens playing marbles somewhere. And it's kind of funny to think the universe is so infinite, and, there's so many stars and galaxies that, like, we can't even wrap our little minds around it. And it's so funny to think of what actually might be going on out there. So
sure. Yeah. I love that too.
Yeah.
We kind of play around with that, like metaphysics and, existential shit. So
yeah,
it's fun.
I don't know. The Matrix really got me thinking too, it's like, what version are we on? Have we been doing this over and over until the end of time?
And kind of reflecting on like the Matrix stuff is like, there's the demiurge, Locutus, the creator god, right? And then you have this the program that he created doesn't agree with his program. I guess who would that be? Maybe Agent Smith or something.
Yeah.
And his creation grows to godhood himself. Creates an empire and starts taking over all of his stuff, and in fact has all of the good guys on their back foot, nearly defeated until this event happens. And this is kind of like an axis to everything. Maybe the knights can pull out of it. So maybe not.
It makes for good storytelling. So always like
so.
that. Going back to the campaign, and I wanted to say too, I really like your idea of kind of breaking everything down. Kind of a not so nice analogy would be, like get them hooked on the drug first. Give them a little
exactly.
taste,
First one's free, kid.
Yeah, there you go, and then they'll come back for more. Your creative team here, everyone's, just some great names there. Everyone is really put together. Just a beautiful second campaign here for you. I love this here. You give a little breakdown of the characters.
Oh yeah.
From some of them that we were introduced in the first book, and kind of tells you a little bit more about them. And God, those princes were so annoying. It's like you love to hate them, little bastards.
Dude, you're gonna love them in the second one, man.
Oh God.
I will say this: they, I know they're twin princes and stuff like this, but I will say you will start to see more and more of their differences if you haven't already. So
yeah. Just how the one stays kind of hidden, the one like just wants to show off,
right?
Just very pompous. Oh, I got to get to my tailor.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, here we go. Oh, Corey says, so the Empress is a giant hot blue queen babe, and we're just ants.
Yeah, just say it, Corey. Step on me, mommy.
what is this? Who's supposed to go here? Ants.
Yeah.
Yeah, think of that Zoolander. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So let's see. This is what do we have
Hey, what's
here?
up, Katie?
Oh, is Katie in the chat there? Katie, hey, how you doing, Abra? Or Abra?
What up, girl?
Katie.
Yeah, you're Abra. Gosh.
Yeah, let me get it straight. But yeah, it's great to see you there, Katie. She says, "Hey, Abra and Aaron." Katie
up,
does a
girl?
lot. She's one tough cookie. She's really had to take a lot from some of the unsavory creators out there, but she's good at giving her own.
Yeah, I like it.
Let's see. So, any particular? I love this image here.
Yeah.
This huge
so nice.
bear creature. It's just awesome. And is it Jose that kind of comes up with the different character designs? Is that what I read?
He does. He has been. So I hired a character design artist to do all the main characters, and he's been doing all the others. So
yeah,
and he'll be doing them going forward.
These like the goblin undead foes.
They are not undead, but yes, it is a horde of goblins with looks like an ogre kind of commanding them at first. Yeah. Then later on, spoilers to my own book, we actually meet the commander of the goblin horde troop, who is a Bamonite. So kind of the introduction of the main story, the characters to actually knowing who or what a Bamonite even is.
It almost sounds like a swear word, like, yo, Bamonite.
Those damn Bamonites.
Bammonites. Let's see here. Oh, no. I'm not touching that one.
Well, these goblins aren't rich and, controlling the banks.
Yeah.
Like in Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. I was like, are you kidding me? I mean,
I don't mean in real life, guys. Gosh.
Yeah. Let's see here. Where do you want to start? I guess with the different tiers, we can go and just go down the line here. We have the Immortal Rising #1 floppy.
Yeah, the EB on that is early bird. Because I think maybe after this week, I'm probably going to end the early bird card. So if you want to get that, which is it's the Corey Barton cover, only in trading card form. So I don't plan on offering that one again. So if you want that one, you better buy now. And that's offered on any tier. So if you want to get the #1 floppies, go for it. You'll get the card then too. So anybody, like when I look at my order form and it's got a certain date on it, everything before that date is going to get the card. So
I got you. So you're going to cut that off soon then. And you said that the early bird will come with any of the orders or just the floppies?
No, any of the orders. You only get one though. So if you order multiple perks, you won't get multiple cards. But
so you have the 2 floppies, 1 and 2 here.
Yep.
And then
that's if you just want to taste, also if you just kind of if you want to see, how it's broken up differently, maybe you're a completionist, you just want to help a brother out and support even more,
Yeah, help a brother out. Come on now. like Mr. Wendell. And then you have the early bird premium Immortal Rising #1. This is the Corey Barton cover. Yeah, very very schmexy. I like her a lot.
Yeah.
Jimmy Reyes cover. And the pricing, I guess if somebody was only used to just going to the comic book store and picking up the traditional floppies or whatever, they might see these prices initially and be like, whoa, $20. But I mean, I think these prices are very reasonable for the quality and everything that you get.
So this is about the lowest price range or, price points that I think I've seen. Maybe Richard Embry, he kind of gave me the idea of the $5 floppy is close to that. But again, I don't know. I don't think anybody else is doing the same thing I'm doing. So
You can't even get a sub for $5 anymore, for Pete's
it's
sake.
right. Yeah. That's
In
what I
this
was saying. It's
economy.
like you go to Taco Bell and it's like $20 or something. It's like, what
It's
happened?
unbelievable.
So
Yeah.
just kind of help people who are like, well, I'm interested, but I can only afford this much, because let's not forget shipping, is
Yeah.
it's not represented on the perk, price point, but you still gotta, once you go to the checkout, it'll say, okay, well, shipping overseas is like $25. So that kind of stuff, just to be mindful of that as well. So I wanted to offer, hey, $10 for the floppies, $25 for the shipping. I live in Britain. Okay, I haven't read the story yet. I'll get the floppies instead of the $20 big dog. So
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Now, where do you stand on digital? Because I know a lot of creators kind of struggle with that. You don't want to, you worry about piracy, but you still maybe down the road want to try to help out, the people that live in places where they really get penalized with those shipping costs. Is that something you might consider?
Yes, definitely will do a digital. I don't have one on this campaign, but I will in the future. Like I'll probably go to Global Comics or something like that. Somewhere where people go to shop for digital versions. I had an okay response for digital. I wouldn't say bad at all. Because I had it on Fund My Comic. In fact, if you would like to get a digital version of the first comic, you can go to Fund My Comic, and I think they're $5 there. So, in the future, after I go through all of this and do all my fulfillment and stuff, I'll probably start offering a digital as well.
Yeah, like I said, I really feel for some of the people, in the UK, Europe, Australia, and it's just like, holy cow.
Yeah.
And, I've ordered stuff from Bancroft, and I picked up the Dino King to see what that was all about from Liam Gray.
Yeah.
And I wasn't killed on shipping and everything, and I'm like, why? I guess it's all the VAT taxes and all that kind of stuff that they get hit with once it goes over.
Yeah.
But God.
Well, and so with me, I go through Critical Blast, and so he's able to get like cheaper rates on larger shipments or something like that. So he'll bulk send them, and then it cuts down on shipping for everybody. So
I got you. Yeah, I've seen his name on a number of books that I've ordered, and he really provides a good service.
I liked him the first time. He's been super helpful with me, even before I asked him to do fulfillment and stuff. He's real, down to earth kind of chatty dude who knows what he's talking about. He does his own books. He fulfills for other people, not just producing his own stuff. He's a good dude. Solid. Yeah. No complaints from me, and I didn't get any complaints from customers from dealing with him. So
yeah, he always packaged everything that I've received that was shipped through him. Good stuff. So let's see. We were in the floppy of 1 and 2.
Yep.
And let's see. This is the newer stuff you can get. Is this both?
Those are the premiums. Yep, that's 1 and 2. That'll be both Jimmy and Corey's covers.
Gotcha.
And that's like 80-pound glossy, perfect bound, the whole thing.
Beautiful. And then here this is everything. $100,
yep. Not
bad. Gets you a shirt, gets you the floppies, gets you the two covers.
It's basically 100 pages of comic from the premium, then an additional 100 of the floppies. So 200 pages, then the ash cans, which are, gonna, be, I don't know, whatever they end up being. They're like 7 and 8 pages, but you got to add pages for printing and all this other stuff. So, you're getting all these pages. And then on top of that, you have your choice of shirt as well. So,
and the shirt is the two covers?
No, the shirt, one will either be Corey's cover, or the other one is a picture of Listo, the character Listo. It's from a panel in the first book. It's one of my favorite poses that Listo does. He's just like standing there holding the sword and stuff, and it looks way badass.
Very epic.
I put that on the shirt too.
Very nice. Yeah, I really love the the shirts and everything. I'd love to see more creators do it. I understand that there's the barrier of cost and everything,
Yeah,
but it's fun to represent the different comics and everything out there.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I got uh who was it? Bancroft's Lucent. I got that shirt.
I did too. Yeah, I
So that
picked one up. I was lucky. He brought some shirts to
to
Tampa
Tampa,
Bay
right?
Con. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was like, yoink,
I was
have to get
so
that.
jealous. I was like, dang, I wish I could go to Tampa.
It was a fun time. It's sad that everything kind of turned out the way that it did. But
It was like a
overall, I
nuclear
thought it
explosion went off.
it really was, and I missed out on the whole dungeon experience and everything. I used to live in Tampa way
Mhm.
back in the early 2000s, and I went there a couple times for Thursday night, 80s night, and we
Sure.
listened to Depeche Mode and stuff like that. I didn't even know that they had a dungeon or anything like that, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy. It seemed like such a positive experience, especially the fan meetup and everything was a lot of fun. It was great to see fellow fans and the
Yeah.
creators. And I always like kind of geeking out with the creators. Kind of like I had questions for you about the book that you were able to clarify for me. So
Yeah.
I love having an opportunity to do that. And it's just kind of sad that whole experience was soured in the end, but.
Yeah. Yeah. See, my thing is like I didn't really pay attention to any of the big dogs. I'd had well, Jimmy on my show, as far as Kings go.
Yeah,
I think Andy Smith has been on my show.
they're both great guys.
Aaron Lepresti has been on my show, stuff like that. But I'd never really paid attention to like what was going on with Comicsgate Kings, or I didn't even follow EVS or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so that whole Dungeoneer stuff kind of came out of like I didn't really understand any of that, and I didn't really start paying attention to EVS until Trashcast, and
Yeah.
that was after my ordeal with Eric July, and then as I'm like scrolling through, I think it was maybe YouTube or something, maybe it was Twitter, I don't know, but it was like this ridiculous AI picture of Eric July, and I was like, that looks hilarious. So I
Yeah.
checked out Trashcast. And and he's like just straight roasting. I was like, that is hilarious. Like he's very funny at roasting, and so
Yeah, he's
that's kind of what helped
definitely.
catch me up on everything. Sorry, go ahead.
No, no, I'm sorry, I interrupted you, but yeah, you definitely kind of get a crash course in the world of kind of how everything fell apart by watching
Yeah,
trash casts. So
yeah. I mean, and sure, it's his perspective and all that stuff, but I still think he's funny as hell. So
yeah, he is. He really is like Rush Limbaugh. I grew up listening to Rush Limbaugh because my dad listened to it. So by
yeah,
proxy, I listened to it. And at
sure,
first, you really can't stand him because the hubris is there. But once you realize that the hubris is a shtick, and it's not really it's not genuine from a place of contempt from others or for
yeah,
others or anything like that, then you kind of get into it and you laugh, because I know a lot of people are like, how could you listen to Rush Limbaugh and blah blah blah. And same kind of thing with EVS. I did have a chance to meet him in New Jersey for
yeah,
the Garden Fest, and he was so kind, and every fan that came up to greet him at the table, he never rushed them or anything like that. He spent
sure,
time with them, and just seemed like a really nice guy. I mean, obviously you can't really know what people are like in their own private and
yeah,
personal lives, but I just upon meeting him, I thought, hey, yeah, he's a nice guy. He genuinely cares about his craft, comics, and he wants to help people out.
yeah.
It's a shame that so many people have just kind of turned against him.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know everything about
Yeah,
any of that, but at the same time, I think one of the most annoying things about all of this is just some of the people who are so emotionally invested in all of it.
yeah.
It's like I think you guys are just taking it way too far. Like, stop being so damn serious about it. But you can't talk anybody out of that. They're emotionally bonded to either this side or that side or this idea. It's like, well, good luck with that, I guess.
Well, it speaks to the dangers of being in an echo chamber, and even our
That too.
own people, right? That's why I was kind of telling you I had to kind of decompress a little bit for almost 3 weeks there. That's why I haven't
Sure.
really been doing anything. And it was kind of nice. I would just spend the evening watching movies with my husband and kind of catching up on my backlog of movies I want to watch, and,
Yeah.
go to the beach and stuff like that, and just kind of live real life, because the internet is not real life. And I think
You mean
sometimes
touch grass?
touch grass. Exactly. Yeah. Touch grass. The internet is not real life. And, I get easily, affected emotionally. I am a woman, surprise, but I get, affected by all the, the drama and everything, and it starts to weigh on me like a cloud. And when I start feeling that, I'm like, I need to stand back a little bit.
It's true.
Yeah, but
No, and that's a good idea, because there's a lot of people who don't get that idea.
yeah,
They get addicted to the emotional hit of drama of this
right.
person or that person that they're projecting all these emotions onto anyways. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't get it myself, but I don't know. I do kind of as well. They just, like you were saying, just go touch grass, go play
Yeah.
with your kids or something. It'll be
And
all
I've
right.
been seeing great movies. I have that AMC, the movie Stubs membership, and I have 2 big buckets of popcorn. And when I feel like jumping off the wagon and not doing my keto for a while, I'll go and I get a huge bucket of popcorn and have fun with that. I just watched Strange Darling. I have a review I'm going to do about that, but
I haven't even heard of that one.
it's an interesting movie. I can't even explain it because there's so many twists. If I get into it, it will give it away. But
Fair
it's
enough.
so raw and everything. I did like Long Legs better than Strange Darlings. But yeah, Chris was
I
just talking
only
about
heard of that movie Long Legs recently. I think it's a pretty new movie, but it's
Yeah.
only because just randomly the girl who played this is going to be a deep dive. The girl who played Paul Atreides' sister in 1984 Dune is in Long Legs. That's the only reason.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's like a
I was
trivia
like-
question on Jeopardy or something.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't even know she was still acting, but that's cool, So.
It was, what I liked about it, everyone was like, oh, it's the new Silence of the Lambs. No, I don't know
Okay.
where this comparison came from. I think if you go into the movie with that whole mindset, you are going to end up disappointed. When I went into the theater, it was everything is very atmospheric in this movie, and the director, whose name is escaping my mind at the moment, but he went out of his way to really exaggerate sounds and everything. So you'll hear like the buzzing of a fluorescent light, the crushing of twigs as the girl's going around. Everything is just creepy, and the sound design was, in my opinion, some of the best I've heard in a while.
Right
And it's just, everything is just creepy, and you kind of have this, I don't know if they did that thing where they put those the sounds, the low frequency sounds that your ear can't detect, but it's like you still pick it up, and it kind of it creates a sense of dread. I feel like they had that going for most of the movie, because the whole time there's not really like a lot of jump scares, although there are a few, but the whole time you just have this feeling of dread, and it's just, it weighs on you. And I enjoyed the whole experience. I would say the ending falls short, but the journey, the ride of the movie is, it's worth it. I would definitely give it a watch.
Right on.
So,
I'm gonna have to.
Same thing with Strange Darling. Even though I kind of called the twist, but before it happened, the acting is really good. It's just a very kind of raw, kind of feeling movie, and it's a breath of fresh air, and it jumps around kind of like Memento did, out of order.
Okay. Yeah.
So you have 6 chapters and an epilogue, and so it starts with chapter 3, and then you kind of just bounce around, and so it creates an interesting mystery, because you're trying to piece together, as in the audience, trying to piece together what exactly is happening, and not everything is as it seems. So I really like that.
That's pretty fun. That sounds really fun.
Yeah, I was just saying, in the age of remakes and everything, I love, just something that feels different and fresh. And I think I'm going to be seeing a lot more indie movies as time goes on.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like at this point, anything that will catch my attention. I don't care necessarily who made it, or even like expected quality. If it even looks kind of appealing, I'll at least give it a chance, because now everything is so decentralized. Like,
It is.
and tech has made, you know, you can have a decent looking movie on just an average camera now.
Yeah.
Because the tech has made it that way. So, and then, so not only that, but like, I don't care about Bad Boys 8 or whatever it is. Like,
Yeah, it's like how many times, right?
Not
It
interested.
just gets so so repetitive. And while I enjoyed Deadpool, you know, it was fun watching those action scenes and everything. Like you know, nobody really does action scenes like the Marvel movies do and everything. But there's just something that kind of happens. It's like it feels almost hollow and empty. And all the cameos were really cool, but you know, they kind of give you that dopamine hit. But at the end of the day, when you're kind of trying to dissect the story, it's like there wasn't a story there really.
Wait, for what?
For Deadpool.
Oh, okay.
And you know, I loved seeing Deadpool and Wolverine together on screen. I think Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have a great chemistry together.
I really thought that Hugh's performance this time as Wolverine was probably the best overall
since Logan,
or even potentially better than Logan.
Yeah,
just because of two main scenes. You know, and if you've seen the movie, you probably know what I'm talking about. One where hey, what's up, Belmont? One is where he, like, you know, he really just gives Deadpool a tongue lashing, you know, and then of course his I am the X-Man rant. Like those two scenes were, I mean, chef's kiss for Hugh is Wolverine, you know.
Yeah, I can't imagine him being recast. I'm sure they'll have to do it someday, unless of course they get
Although,
AI, you know.
I did like Henry Cavill. That was
that was
nice.
Interesting. You know, it was like, you know, possibly. I did want to address here, Andy R. Why does this always go to the EVS drama? I feel like more people follow that crap than are actually interested in the books. That's fair. I think, you know, as much as some of us might hate to admit it, like just the drama, as human beings, we're kind of drawn to drama. And that's like another thing that's kind of been of topic lately is, you know, how a lot of the big YouTubers try to get clicks by rage bait and
or kayfabe and all that.
Yeah, and it's like I kind of I've tried to take an honest look at everything too, and I'm like, it is woke is definitely a bad thing. We need to protect our children and everything from all the nasty stuff and everything out there. I think in some cases we've probably turned woke into this big boogeyman, you know.
Yeah.
And not everything, just because there might be a lot of you know, the woke elements to it doesn't necessarily mean that it's trying to and you know, brainwash you or indoctrinate you or anything like that.
Art
but
has been liberal forever.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No.
And then on top of that, you know, when people say, you know, oh, why are they talking about the EVS drama? Totally fair to say that. But at the same time, how many of those people that are complaining about it still watch it? And two, don't watch all the channels that aren't drama. So like there are plenty of channels out there, you know, all the time interviewing, talking. The one that I do on Friday nights, you know, with Jason Sandberg and Chris Wright of Soltech, you know, that show has nothing to do with any dramatic situations.
Yeah.
You know, we joke around for half the show and then we talk to the creator for the other half. So, you know, and even before that, I wasn't doing drama shows, you know, and yet, you know, I'm not going to get an average of 100 views, you know. So all those people who are out there complaining about the drama, you know, there's plenty of other shows who need your eyes, you know, they would love to have you come by. And we're not all like old guys sitting around waiting for the bus. Like we're actually trying to put on a show, you know. So I don't know. I just look around, dude. It's change the channel, as they say.
Well, yeah, and no, he does have a good point. I don't want to get, you know, continuously get bogged down in the weeds and everything.
No.
And I think a lot of it too probably has to do with the algorithms on both X and YouTube, because you know, you watch one thing and then all of a sudden you're just being fed a lot of the same thing. I like gaming too, and you know, and movies. So I try to regularly make sure that I click on that type of content. So YouTube is feeding me that as well, because it is easy to get bogged down in the weeds of all the drama. And hence, again, having to decompress a little bit to get away from it. But yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. It is, you want to kind of avoid that, going down that road of just focusing on the negative. I guess I bring it up just because, especially with your situation, I became aware of your comic because of that whole interaction. Yeah, that brief encounter you had with Eric July. So yeah, that's why I kind of was touching on those topics there, Andy. But thank you for your comment.
Yeah.
Let's
fair comment.
Yeah, for sure. And I love hearing everyone's opinions and everything, whether they run counter to my own or not. That's one of the things that while this is still America, we have the ability to voice our different opinions. So
no, Abra, this is an echo chamber. Two sides and only say the same things over and over. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no. Let's see, we got to follow up here. I just feel that it's a massive vortex of attention that appeals to people's lower senses. You are correct. It does.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true.
Yeah, and sucks all the energy from the scene. I agree. I do agree. So let's see.
I do have high hopes for the Comicsgate Live, featuring amateurs on again.
I really missed that. I discovered a lot of people like Von Klaus.
Yeah.
And then Eric Weathers initially, when he had his remaster of oh my gosh, what was that one called? It was like that World War II. I'm drawing a blank. Road? No, before Battle Brick Road. He had a it was like a World War
trenches?
II. Nope. Maybe someone can help me.
It's all right.
I'm going to think of it at 3 a.m. and just sit up out of bed.
You're wake up.
It's this. Yeah, Flying Fortress.
Okay,
I got it. Yeah, so it was like a World War II kind of supernatural story, and it was interesting. I really liked it. And then he came up with this new idea. So I really do miss that. I hope EVS gets back to doing that, or maybe some of the other big guys can emulate that. I could understand you get stabbed in the back a few times, you might be a little bit hesitant to bring on new people, but I really hope he does continue showcasing.
I'm really not the backstabby type, but I would love to sell my book to his audience.
Yeah. No, I really love what you've created here with Immortal Rising, and
I think a lot of people will. They just how many times I've heard, "Oh, this project's under the radar." I remember the first time I got on Bancroft with my first campaign. That's exactly what he said to me. He's like, "Man, this has just been flying under the radar. Sorry, I missed it." Because I wasn't able to launch on a show, and that was just because he missed my email or something like that. And anyways, long story short, that wasn't the last time I heard that. It was like, man, this is under the radar.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna rename it Immortal Rising Under the Radar.
Under the Radar. Have like a side story called Under the Radar. I did listen to I'm not sure if it was for the first one or the second one, the trailer for it, but it sounded like you had some voice acting and everything in there. Some people contributed to that.
So it's kind of to catch up, kind of surmise what's going on for everybody going into the second one now. So and it was done by Good Stuff Studios. They put it together for me.
Awesome. Well, I mean, is it okay? We'll go ahead and give it a play here.
Fire it up.
Yeah, let's go ahead and make sure there's sound and everything here. Don't show my history, damn it. You see, I'm watching like stupid videos. Okay, so let's see here.
Doesn't everybody?
I'll find you, Locutus, my creator. From your chaotic bones I shall make my order. Congratulations, recruits.
I'm so excited.
I don't want to babysit two spoiled princes.
I need to make a good impression of the soldiers. This is a silly waste of time.
What? Is that my long-lost magic ruby? Empress, find my ruby!
Your will is my command, my master. We're invading Terra to find Balmain's ruby.
Go forth, save the innocent, and punish the wicked. Yes, Father. I have an easy life. But is that all there is?
The ruby could win this war once and for all. Let's kick the nest and see what falls out.
Loki just calls to his creations for help.
Where are we?
What are those things? We have to get out of here.
Have the gods gone mad?
The Bomanites have invaded Terra. Has the last shard of Loki's heart been found?
The war cannot continue without the heart. We can't risk losing it if it's there.
You've come to the wrong place. Terra is under my protection.
Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was awesome. There we go. So yeah, that is the I guess you said the catching you up on all of sort of the everything that happened in book 1. So,
Yep. Kind of break it down.
Get on it, Nabbit.
In under 2 minutes.
So let's see. We are right now at $1,955. 65%.
So close.
Yeah, it's close. And you still have 50 days left. Is this going to go into because it says flexible? Like, will it go into in demand, or how does that work?
Depends.
Exactly?
I don't think I will, but that kind of depends on how much I actually get at the end, because depending on backer count and actual cash that I generate, and then minus shipping and the actual printing and all that stuff. If I have any left over, I may leave it in demand, or I may just open up another storefront and just sell the remaining inventory. So
awesome! Heck yeah, yeah! I'm really excited for book 2. How's it
really
looking?
think you're gonna love it.
What's the progress on it?
It's completely done.
Yeah, that's right, because you said Jose did it and then went back to do. Yeah.
Basically, what has taken me so long to launch the second campaign is that I had to Indian leg wrestle Chris Fisk to teach me how to do Photoshop.
What does that look like? You're getting weird imagery.
Yeah, and so, anyways, I won, thankfully, and so it took me a few months in my spare time, kind of learning. So I went back in, I changed, dialogue bubbles. I cut out some dialogue. I changed up and rewrote and improved dialogue. A little bit of the art too. Moved a page around. Just learning how to do it on my own. Oh my gosh, was such a sigh of it's like say, I'm so relieved that I have more control over my own project. And I wish I had known Photoshop before I ever did my first one too. So.
They have some great tutorial videos too. I've been meaning to go back and kind of, learn some more in-depth techniques with Premiere Pro, because I have the full Creative Cloud suite and everything. And it's like learning it is one thing, but mastering all of their tools is a completely different matter altogether.
Yeah, I'm not a master, but I'm skilled enough, proficient enough to have get what I need done. So I am a selfish top.
Like
I said, he lost.
Andy R, no worries at all. There's nothing but love. Like I said, differences of opinion are definitely all welcome. And sometimes I need to hear feedback too, not as much as I love doing the shows. I'm not just doing them for myself. I want to be entertaining to you guys, or for you guys as well. So, definitely nothing to apologize for. Any parting words? I think we'll wrap it up here in a moment. I will be backing this project here, and just offline. I don't want to, since I'm kind of signed in, I don't want or not logged in, but I don't want everyone to see my personal stuff. So.
Sure, no, that's understandable. I guess last things. So Immortal Rising is just getting started. there is at least one more book in this story arc. I'm trying to introduce the world. I do want to continue with this group. Like I'm writing issue 4 right now. Issue 3 is actually finished. The script is done. All the sketch work is done as well. I just have to get up enough cash to, finish the art kind of stuff for the third one. Second one's all done. I think it's waiting in my Dropbox right now to be printed. So as soon as I know how many that I need to print out, it'll be right away, right into the process. So very excited about that.
Yeah.
Now, on top of that, remember everybody, be good to each other.
Yes.
Party on.
Yeah. Party on. Woo. Thank you so much again.
Thank you,
Aaron.
Jeremy. I appreciate it.
I'm so glad that you reached out to me, and I wanted to, once again apologize for taking a while to get back with you.
Not a problem.
Yeah,
thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. Shows like this is exactly backbone of the indie comic scene. I wouldn't have gotten that sale right there. Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the show. So of course, I love it. And having done so many hosting shows myself, I as a host, I'm like, heck yeah, I got somebody a sale. So like these streams are very important. And like we were talking earlier, people just need to change the channel and go find other shows like us who are not dealing with the drama that they don't want to hear. If you want some popcorn trash or whatever, that's fine.
That's for late night.
Go watch it or whatever. But like if you're interested in projects and stuff, there are plenty of us out here just showcasing each other. So
and that's what I really like about this community. Everyone kind of helping each other out is it's really nice to see, and being able to learn from one another too. It's really nice. So.
Oh yeah. That was actually one of the main reasons I started my show, was because I was like, I don't know how to do any of this, and originally it was just going to be for like me and my friends. And then I'm like, no, because one, I got addicted to it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. I want to share it with everybody. So, you start the show, you start asking questions, you start learning, you start networking. And it changed everything. So sorry I went on a rant. I know
I love getting the insight, and I keep imagining I'm not a creator myself, for books. I do like creating videos, but it's got to be so rewarding, to have this concept and then plan it out. You go through the different struggles and trials and tribulations, seeing what works, what doesn't, and then you come out with the finished product, and it's something that you can hold in your hands. It's something that will hopefully survive the ages, and it's like,
oh, it's so fun.
It's really awesome.
What's great is like I'm only getting better at writing a comic. So like the process, like the third one, now that I can with my new Photoshop skills, I should be able to get it out even finished, do all the pre-production, post-production, all the extra work I should be able to do myself, and so it'll go much faster. I'm hoping to have the third one, depending on cash flow, the next campaign early to mid-year next year. So
awesome. All right. Well, just all you creators out there, just don't stop. Keep creating.
Yeah, don't stop.
I love seeing what you guys, when you persevere, what you come up with. It's great stuff. So I'm hoping. I just saw that Grey Wolf got his copy of Pain and Death. So I'm looking.
Oh, nice. I'm waiting on mine. Yeah.
I felt so dumb after I was done reading the first Lucent. I was like, wow, this is like on a whole other level. I'm thinking, hey, a little comic book, the action here and blah, blah, blah. And at the end, it was like, I felt like I was at a college course, and somebody just had to teach me something. And I'm sitting here like reading on a third grade level or something. But Bancroft does wonderful things. He is he's a sharp guy.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He'll be on our show Friday nights. It's Fridays at 10 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay.
He'll be on the show September 27th. So
awesome. Yeah. When you put it on X, and I'll definitely retweet and everything.
Right on. And also, we reviewed. Yeah, I think Chris has mentioned it. Me, and Chris and Derek reviewed the Lucent. It was like an hour and a half. We just go page by page and we talk about it, all the influences that we've seen and all that stuff. And yeah, so if anybody's interested in that, go check it out. So
for sure. All right, everyone in the chat, thank you so much for joining and participating. I always love the interaction. It's what makes the stream enjoyable, especially for me. It's hard when you come out on here and you're just kind of talking to air, to the abyss. So yeah, it is nice. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me, even though I've kind of been AWOL for the last couple weeks and a bit.
Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Aaron, again, thank you so much. I wish you the best of luck with this campaign.
Hey, and thanks for those who backed in the chat. Thank you so much.
You guys are great.
You're everything. Thank
you make it all possible.
For real, you really do.
Appreciate it. And with that, please have a wonderful evening. And I will try to pop on here, maybe on, what day is this today? I don't even know. It's Monday.
Yes.
Just the Mondays. Maybe I'll see about Wednesday popping on and everything. I do have some family visiting at the end of the week, but I have to make time for you lovely people. Right all right. Everyone, take it easy. Aaron, if you want to hang out for just a moment after we get offline here. All right.
Sure.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Be good.
Get these earsets off of me. I've had enough. Get the hell out of my house. In Jesus' name, I pray.